In this video, you are going to learn more about the second stage of working with TIA grammar tasks. The main objective of this stage is to get students to collect authentic examples of structures in question. This bank of sentences will then be used to reformulate the learning need as a choice between several linguistic structures. As well as in the video about Stage 1, we use the task to help learners to become aware of the difference between sentences with did and have done when referring to the past. Before inviting students to collect a bank, it is necessary to help them to understand the purpose of this activity. This is the rationale behind the first task. Students start out by restating the learning objective they defined at Stage 1. Based on their learning need, students then formulate what kind of sentences they need to find for their bank. First, they do it individually. After that, answers are collected on the board. The class discusses the options in the context of their learning objective and try to agree on the formulation. Even if different formulations are preferred, it's not a problem. The teacher should just make sure that students understand the purpose for collecting their bank. When the purpose is clarified, students are offered materials for finding sentences with structures in question from authentic sources. Working with authentic sources is much more than doing a grammar task. Students are reading, working with vocabulary, and learning to guess the meaning from context. As a result of this work, students have banks of sentences that contain did or have done. As students are working independently, it's likely that some wrong structures are also collected. In task 3 and 4, the task of the teacher is to get the students to find such sentences and note them down on the board. When collecting a bank, students often do it without thinking about the meaning of sentences and sometimes choose those that look similar to the structures in question. For example, here these are the sentences that contain have or a third form of the verb. It is important that students clean their banks of such sentences. In order to achieve this, the teacher may ask students about the communicative purpose of the sentences on the board to help them to switch from a purely structural consideration of structures. If students are not sure if a sentence is the right one, it's not a problem. Mark it as a sentence under question to refer to it later on. Now, students have a cleaned bank that contains sentences with structures they're working with. The task for the learners is to clearly define the two structures they're choosing from when referring to the past. By the end of the working at this stage, students have defined their learning need as a choice between several structures. Let's summarize what the students are doing in this stage. First of all, they are to be reminded of the purpose for collecting the bank. This is achieved in task 1. When the purpose is clear, students are gathering examples of structures in question from authentic sources. When the bank is in place, the main task is to clean it from the structures that don't belong. Finally, students redefine the learning need as a choice between several structures.